My name is Ezeli Sangwama, and I'm a student of the UNESCO TAP project. My student ID is TEMP.NYSC67. For this video, I have been asked to discuss the boundaries that have constrained me at work as a result of being a young leader and where I could add value if I'm pushed at those boundaries. I've been able to identify about three boundaries that have constrained me at work. The first one is hierarchy or superiority of ideas. Now, as a young leader, I have had times when my ideas were shoved, to the corner, not because those ideas were inferior or because they were less practical, but simply because I was young, simply because I was younger than every other person I worked with at that establishment. And those ideas were considered less. They were not even considered at all. They were not reviewed simply because someone said, oh, she's too young to give an idea that is going to sustain. She's too young, she has less experience, and the ideas are not even taken. And that office hierarchy, the fact that you're probably at the bottom of the chain and then someone at top feels his own ideas are better because he's at the top of the chain and yours is nothing. Whether you're a leader or not, you're just too young, you're just too small, you're just younger than I am, both in age and in experience, so your ideas are nothing. And it was very constraining. In fact, as a matter of fact, if it still repeats to today, I consider it very, very constraining. The second one is choosing profit over personal development or professional development. I have once been told to sit down and continue my work, make profit for an organization other than pursue a course that would improve or develop my professional skills as well as personal skills. And truthfully, it constrained me a lot. It made me think about a lot of things because the reasons were not because there was no one to cover. In fact, there was not even a time. There was no room for negotiation or a place for balance. And it was simply because profit mattered more than my personal development. Profit mattered more than my professional development. And it wasn't even up for negotiation. It wasn't up for discussion. It was just as simple as ABC. This is what you choose at this point. This is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to do. And this other thing doesn't matter. And you just realize as a young leader that can be very constraining because leaders are people who push for more, who try to ensure that they are better than they were yesterday, not just for themselves but for the society at large. And it's actually a very constraining boundary. Then lastly, under appreciation, you would agree with me that motivation is key. A happy leader or a happy staff is the best. And that's because as humans, we love to be appreciated, we love to be encouraged, we love to be motivated. If at some point we are underappreciated or undervalued, it could, reduce our morale. It could constrain us. It could make us just want to be nonchalant about what we do. It would push us to a point whereby the best of us is not even seen. Now, on the flip side, if I turn this table around, how can I add value if I'm pushed at these boundaries that I have identified? The first one is to be an open minded leader. I believe that a leader is supposed to be open minded because you never know whose idea, whose opinion becomes, that big deal for you. You never know if you gain your moment of eureka from listening to a young leader's opinion. And if I'm open minded, if I allow people or create room for idea generation and have the honesty to return, to give feedback to people whose ideas were not even taken, and the reason why those ideas were not taken, I think it will go a long way to bettering the society and being a better leader. Then, second of all, I think it's important to create balance between profit and personal or professional development. The reason is this: if a staff is, goes for professional personal development, whatever benefits or whatever skills that he has acquired would also boost the company and increase profit. So it's a win-win for both the company and for the staff. So I believe be a leader who strikes a balance, creates an equilibrium between the two would be a value to to offer. And then lastly, motivation is key. If you value people, if you value your leaders, if you appreciate people, regardless of who they are, young, old, experienced, inexperienced leaders, you would say that you've created a room for people to be the best that they can be. And then you would be the best leader you too can also be. So I believe with this point I've been able to discuss this topic to its entirety. Thank you.